the podcast for myself, my co-host, explore Earth and concerns and interests. This is one of this is the second pod that we've done since we did the format of how we're doing things moving
Hmm.
forward. If you haven't been around, what we're kind of doing is podcast one week, game in the next week, and then that just kind of repeats for the foreseeable future. So gives us a little bit more time in these episodes to talk about, I don't know, not more important things, but more important things to us, I guess. So that we want to get into the nitty gritty on. So yeah, that's a little brief, I guess, before we get into things this week.
Absolutely, dude.
But yeah,
It's fun doing it this way. We obviously we get to do explore a couple of different sides of things. But let's just jump right into what's been going on in sports because obviously we just
yeah.
wound down the football preseason for the NFL. And at the same time, we're about to start up the college football. So there's lots of football going on. What are you most excited about right now?
Mm-hmm. Well, we got this weekend. We got probably you could say the biggest game of the year, maybe for Ohio State against Texas. At least, maybe the most difficult. I think I think Texas is currently ranked number one, and Ohio State is ranked number two. So, as Buckeye fans, it's pretty big, especially with a new quarterback coming in,
Both
and
teams.
for both teams, but at least Texas has Arch Manning, who he played some snaps last year.
That's true.
So I'd say he's more familiar with the system, but yeah, it's
I
still
mean, wasn't our
not a
guy?
ton of experience.
Yeah, our guy was here last year too, though, right? He's been.
He was here, but yeah, but I don't know if he got any. Actually, yeah, I don't know if he got any snaps at all. I know Arch definitely had more of a role because
Right.
they used him in some like running, but they actually used him more as like kind of like a Justin Fields kind of, because he's so big and he's pretty
Mm.
mobile for his size. So it'll be interesting to see him like in a full time role, like how their offense is kind of designed around him. Because I'd say he's definitely more mobile than Quinn Ewers was, former Ohio State Buckeye.
Current
But
Miami Dolphin.
yes, yeah, backing up is I don't even I haven't been following the Dolphins too much. Is he the backup second string, or is
He
he?
might
Do
be
you
the
know if he's
third.
backup or third
There's
string? Okay,
there's somebody else there too. Uh,
okay,
but
yeah, because I know they took him pretty like late. I think he was like sixth round or
yeah,
something after the fifth. I know that
but he's left-handed,
for
right?
sure.
Like same as Tua.
As Tua,
So
yeah, yeah,
it makes sense. You got your
yeah,
left-handers on that team.
yeah. Got to keep them together. I wonder if they were trying to go after uh, Dylan Gabriel. I wonder which one they
Oh,
were,
maybe.
because he's also a lefty, so I feel like he was
Is that
probably
weird, you think,
maybe
for
in there.
like the Browns when they're trying to prep, like trying to switch back and forth in their offense? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that. Well, it does the line, I'd say, because your
yeah,
blind spot is on the right instead of the left, like a lot of righty quarterbacks. So I definitely would say that would impact. I don't think it necessarily means they're like switching the tackles. I think they're going to keep whoever's on the left and whoever's on the right, because that is the one thing I think about. Like, I feel like in the offensive line, that's the hardest switch, is to go
mm-hmm.
from like a left tackle, or go from like a right tackle to a left tackle, because your footwork has is like you're doing the drop backs
Right,
and all that,
totally different.
Yep, yeah. So yeah, no, yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if I've heard like at least Kevin Stefanski talk about that, but I don't know. I feel like the Browns media, I don't know, they always ask stupid ass questions.
Well,
So
there's
we're
been
usually not
other
gonna.
yeah, there's been other stuff going on, right?
Yeah, that's true.
This
That's
season.
true.
So
More pressing matters.
let's actually get to that. The biggest news from the Browns
Oh yeah.
is
Oh yeah.
Kenny Two Gloves is out of the building.
Yeah. Tiny hands. He's going to the Raiders. Traded for a fifth rounder again. man, he's getting passed around. Like this
That's
is
Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett.
a you know it was great while you were
Well,
here,
that's
Kenny.
why the
You didn't do anything,
well,
but
I mean that's why the
your heart
Browns
was in the
couldn't
right
keep him
spot.
is because he's too
Oh
good for
yeah,
the Browns.
he's too OP.
He's
We can
yeah.
only have one Super Bowl winning
Oh,
quarterback
that's true.
on the roster.
That is true.
Two is too many. So.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting because they like before the training camp and all that, they were like, "Oh, this is going to be an open competition. Whoever comes out on top." And it was a competition, but it was actually two competitions because it was a competition between Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett to see who would be the starter, and then I think say Kenny was healthy and say he won it, I would not have been surprised if Joe Flacco would have been the one that ended up getting traded. But Kenny was hurt the whole training
Mm-hmm.
camp pretty much, and Joe won the role. And then the other competition was between Dylan Gabriel and Shador. And I'm rooting. I personally would rather see, or I think the upside for Shador is higher. But I definitely, after watching the preseason games, and that's really I can only like base it off those the two that they each played in. Dylan Gabriel definitely looked more ready because there's a thing with Shador where he pretty much sacks himself sometimes.
No, well,
It's
you know what?
like
I saw the couple of clips where like he's running back and he's trying to get
yeah,
out,
throw
but
throw it away,
no,
throw it
but
away.
I mean he's trying to make play, but
Yeah.
the whole line from that clip where like he's running back, all those guys got cut. So he's
And
playing
but
with
so did the defense on the other team.
well,
The 8 out of 11 of those guys got cut too.
I'm
So
just
it's like,
saying like
but and then
you
I
know
know,
you have to think
yeah,
about that he's like oh crap I've got no protection let's get back and try to do
yeah.
something.
I think he was playing hero ball, and like you said, he was trying to make a play. But at the end of the day, it's like we kind of saw that the first preseason game. It's like I want if you got to recognize, oh, my own line is not giving me any protection, which you know it's he didn't play with that full O line, but I think Dylan Gabriel played with 3 out of 5 of those linemen while he was there. And granted, the protection did look better when he was out there, I will say, but I don't know. We saw it even in the first preseason game where he ran backwards a few times and like he didn't get himself. I don't think he got himself technically like sacked, but and like he was able to escape and just like run out of bounds. But like
Hmm.
even doing that, like you're not going to be able to do that against like first stringers. Like you got to be a little bit more.
Yeah,
You got to
and
recognize when to throw it away, pretty
kind of a
much.
weird thing because they traded Pickett away, Kenny Pickett,
Hmm.
and they've already gone and signed Bailey Zappi. It's like
Yeah,
what?
for the he's on the practice
Yeah,
team or
yeah, yeah.
whatever. So yeah,
I guess it's the
but
contract, but still, like, is Bailey? I feel like Snoop Huntley's probably better than Bailey Zappi. They had him in the building too. So
yeah, I'm assuming the Bailey Zappi thing. Like I'm pretty sure those practice team guys get paid like well for the NFL they get paid pennies. So I don't think
yeah,
it's really that big of a thing. And I think with the Kenny thing, it's like if you can you know, I think he was kind of like a safety net, like Joe Flacco was pretty much. They were both kind of safety nets, and the one that came out on top was Joe. So it's like, all right, we'll get rid of
yeah,
the safety net we don't need to use anymore. We weren't even able to
right.
use, in the training
Yeah,
camp.
and
So
I'm sure we'll see two, if not three, of the guys this year, right? Or hopefully not, but
yeah, yeah. You got to give you got to give both those rookies some starts. Unless Joe Flacco goes out and he's like just like throwing it like he's like back on the Ravens, or like how we kind of saw a little bit with the Browns 2 years
well,
ago. But he's
well,
like 40. He's 40. I'm like,
you know,
he's getting up there.
yeah, because that's the thing. The classic way this will go is he is incredible and he wins like three games, and then he just gets killed in the fourth game, and then the rookies come in
Yeah.
and suck, and the Browns lose the rest of the year. That's
Well,
how the story's gonna go.
I won't be. I'll be a little sad, but I won't be mad at that result because then at least if they both suck, then I'm like, all right, well, we got two first rounders next year.
No.
Let's go. Let's get someone. I don't know who we're getting, but um, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the season. I'll say that though.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be good, but at least it's well. Who might be coming back on the roster? I don't know if he'll play, Mister
Oh,
Mr. Watson.
QB1.
QB none.
Well,
Um, yeah, I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'll just say that. But
yeah.
yeah, so we'll see. It should be entertaining as most Brown seasons are though. But yeah, no, like we got that. We play the Bengals in 2 weeks. So
Okay.
do you know who did Titans play?
I'm gonna look it
You
up
know,
right now.
yeah.
Titans, NFL. The Broncos.
Ooh,
Could be
yeah,
worse.
it could be worse. I know their defense was pretty solid last year. Um,
Yeah, but the Broncos
so
suck. No, I'm thinking Titans are winning that
I'm
one.
not wor- I don't know if too worried about their offense. I don't know. Their
Was it
offense is
was it
like
the
so.
Broncos that got beat 70-0 or whatever last year by the Dolphins?
Was it? I think was that last year or 2 years ago?
I want to say that was
I don't
last year,
remember.
but it could have been 2 years. It doesn't matter. That was the
Yeah.
Broncos.
That was the Broncos, dude. That was dude. If he had someone on fantasy on the Dolphins that game,
Oh yeah. Well, because
it,
HN
it could have
had
been their third stringer. They were going off.
yeah, I think HN had 5 touchdowns. It was like that kind of game. So yeah,
Yeah, that was his breakout game.
drafted him
I'm
in
thinking,
fantasy this
oh,
year. Hopefully, we see that
did
again.
yeah.
That would be nice.
Mm-hmm. He's got to stay healthy. I think he had some injury
He's back.
issues. I
There,
believe. Yeah.
yeah, and that season, and it looked like he was gonna be out for a little bit this preseason, but they said he's gonna be ready.
Yeah.
Hopefully they play. But I think they're playing the
Yeah.
Colts, so that's another team that.
Oh, that's easy money.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I'm
easy
like,
money, brother.
uh, but yeah, it should be fun season. Both the NFL and college football should be fun. The
Yeah.
Ohio State is one of those things because every time you start off with a new quarterback, especially with these big games at the start of the year, like with the Oregon a few years ago, right? It's like
Yeah. C.J.
it's
Stroud.
not a
Yeah.
good time just to play this best or the other best team in
Yeah.
the country when it's the first game of the year and we have a new quarterback. And
Yeah,
but
that's the only thing that gets me worried about. At least it's a home game. That's the only thing. But it does get me worried that. But I could see it even for those, a first-time Buckeye player coming into the shoe, like 100,000 people in that thing.
yeah,
Like that would be. I don't know if that would be very comforting for anyone.
well,
Um,
and we haven't even mentioned new offensive coordinator without Chip
yes.
Kelly. Uh,
Yeah, we got. What is it? And defensive
oh,
coordinator,
both,
right?
yeah. So I think that's
Yeah, because
a big story.
offensive is Brian Hartline,
Yeah.
our receiver, our former receivers coach. Who I'm cool with that. I guess we'll see. He has filled that role before in
Hmm.
the past before we got Chip. So I feel like he'll be okay. And then we have Matt Patricia, former
Right.
NFL head
The
coach.
Lions.
Um, yeah, Lions when they were really bad. So, uh, but there's some of those guys that just one, it's the NFL, and
Hmm.
another thing, some guys just they're great coordinators, but they just can't
Well,
they're
like
not good head
Chip
coaches.
Kelly, for example, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But I think that's I haven't seen too much talk about that, and I think that'll be a big story. I understand that the replacements was a guy that was in the building, but I think he helped make that team a lot better, and so we'll see how that
Yeah.
changes after he's gone now. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exciting stuff this weekend and next weekend to get into that. Let's real quick. I just want to mention a couple of soccer things. The Columbus
Oh yeah.
Crew have been struggling. It looks like
Mm.
their striker played this last game. or for the first time, the new guy Wessam Abu Ali. Uh, he looked okay. They didn't score.
Mm.
And the crew basically out of the race for the Shield this year. So that's like the winning the league. They're gonna make the playoffs. So in the MLS, you can win like the league trophy, and then you go to the playoffs and win like the cup. But it looks like
Okay.
we're out of contention basically for the Shield, which is really disappointing because for the first bit of this year, it looked like we were one of the best teams in the league, if not the best, and it just dropped off. It's really
Mm.
disappointing. I don't really know what to say.
So is the Shield more of a like the best regular season team,
Yeah,
and then it kind of goes to the playoffs, and then yeah,
yeah.
whoever
So
wins it there.
and generally the cup is a bigger deal in the MLS, but it's I don't know if the crew have ever won a Shield or if they have. It's been a long time, so
Mm.
it's kind of one of those things. It's like I'd like to see us challenge for that and to show that we're one of the best teams. And right now we're just plummeting. We're not in the top 10 teams in the league right now, which is ridiculous because we have the best coach and some of the best players. So just a little frustrating. Like still widely regarded. You go watch any of these like
Mm.
preview games, the weekends, and the people will be like, the Crew's coach Wilfred Nancy, he's the best coach in the league, but he can't get the team. It's like, well,
Mm. It all comes back to that Factory of Sadness game.
it does,
Ever
it
since
does,
then, ever since then,
it does,
you
man.
got the Browns stink on you guys.
Yeah, that's
You
maybe
know,
that's
you
what it
already have
is.
You already have the Haslams. You know, that was just the
Well,
tipping point.
and we
That was the
should
tipping point
mention,
right there. But
apparently the stadium is like 20. The new Brown Stadium is like 20 feet too tall
hmm
or something, and
yeah, I saw that,
so like they can't
which is
build
crazy.
it.
Well, I'm sure they'll get it figured out
Yeah.
somehow, but it's like I don't know if that was just an oversight on like either side. Like they like looked at it and they were like, "Oh, that's good," and then they come back later like, "Oh, actually, that's not good," or if it was the other way around where they're like, "Oh, actually need to add 20 more feet to this thing,"
Mm.
or something. And most of it I think is like going to be underground technically, because it can't be
Well,
like the
it's just
normal
right next
height
to
of
this to the airport.
the yeah, right.
So,
Yeah, they've got the code, you know.
oh my gosh, and
When
that's so classic too,
planes
because they're
crashing
they're
into
like,
it.
yes,
Yeah,
we're moving the stadium out of downtown. We know everyone hates this, but at least we're gonna do it. And then they go, just kidding, we can't
yeah,
do it. It's like, okay,
yeah.
nice, love it.
Psych.
It's like,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
hilarious. Uh,
Mm-hmm. You got So I guess other soccer news though. You said Chelsea
yeah,
here is looking pretty
Chelsea
solid.
Chelsea won their last game last weekend, 5-1. So that was a pretty good game. Palmer didn't even play, so pretty sweet.
Mm,
He pulled like a muscle in warm ups. So hopefully he not a
yeah.
long term thing. Yes, he was at like a street festival this weekend, and it's hilarious. He wore like a wig to disguise himself, and it's very him, but
Oh gosh.
it's like literally like
Hmm.
dreadlock wig. It's very bizarre, but but you know, but yeah. So
Uh,
hopefully he's fine. But yes, but
yeah. Was that before his was that before the game where
no,
he was going out,
no. That
or
was
was that
that was
after?
that was after this week. So
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah,
So I feel like he's probably if he's doing stuff like that, he should be okay.
yeah, you'd
Yeah.
hope, right? But
Just got to stretch out a little bit more, next the next few
the
days,
the
and should
big
be
the
good.
big deal right before we started recording today, Manchester United, who have looked bad, they've lost their first 2 games of the year. This was supposed to
Hmm.
be they spent a lot of money this year with their new coach, so it's supposed to be a turnaround year. They just lost in the FA Cup, or it might be the League Cup, to a fourth division team, uh,
Wow,
which is yeesh,
that's
you
insane.
don't want to do that. When you're Manchester United, you do not lose to fourth tier teams,
No,
and so
no.
yeah, if they lose a couple more, that coach is gone. They will not keep that guy. But
Is he new? Is he a new
he
coach?
came in the middle of last year,
Okay.
and then they came in like 16th place out of 20. So
Oh wow, I didn't realize they were struggling
yeah,
that much.
United have been
Wow,
really bad the last couple of years.
wow.
Yeah, it's you don't ever want to be in that spot.
No.
Yeah, so I guess we'll follow that story, and I mean, it'd be hilarious see if like if Man United gets like relegated, that would be the funniest, craziest story in sports because they're still such a brand name, you know. Uh,
Yeah, I wonder though what the last time a team of that like caliber that's like happened to.
yeah, it
It sounds
is.
kind of unheard of.
There's like Sunderland and Leeds, which are obviously not that caliber, but they have both been relegated in the past, and it's kind of a fun thing that both those teams, those are pretty big teams in England. They're
Mhm.
both back in the Premier League this year for the first time in a while, in like 10 years, and those are both pretty good, fun teams, right? Leeds and Sunderland.
Mm.
And it's fun that they're like these are two giants that have come back up, and now you have United struggling and they're fall. It's like ooh, it kind of
Yeah,
balances out.
change of power.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
But that's all for the sports stuff going on right now. I mean, obviously,
Mhm.
more stuff will happen very, very soon.
Yeah,
Let's,
we'll have tons to talk about,
yeah,
next time because we'll
yeah,
have the OSU game and then we'll have, probably NFL, first game of NFL
yeah.
uh, weekend. So
So yeah, so let's talk some movie and TV real quick if that's cool.
yeah,
Um,
yes, sir. Yeah.
so just real quick, you've seen Weapons?
Yes, I've seen it twice. I've seen it
Oh,
twice now.
it's pretty
Yeah,
good, huh?
yeah, yeah. I liked it a lot. Because it was the same director as the guy that did Barbarian,
Right.
which I really like. I really like that movie as well. And this is totally different feel, or not totally different feel, but kind of genre. I'd say like this is
Mhm.
more like a thriller, kind of more of a thriller, but still got has some scary, you know, points in it. But it still kind of has that same like storytelling kind of feel and that Barbarian had, and
Mhm.
the storytelling was really like it was honestly I felt like it was a big risk. Because have you seen this yet,
No,
Ren?
no.
So I won't get into the nitty gritty details of what happens, but there's a bunch of characters this movie kind of highlights on, and there's like the first section of the movie starts with the main character, Julia Gardner's character,
Mhm.
the teacher, and then the next, and so it follows her for a pretty long time, and then the next section of the movie it goes to the next, uh, pretty big important character, which was Josh Brolin's character, who's like a dad of one of these kids that disappeared, and then does that for a few more characters, and it kind of pieces together the whole story in that way instead of like a singular like kind of storyline, which I
Mhm.
thought was that can be a big risk because you could definitely screw that up pretty good. But
Yeah.
they it was very cohesive, and then yeah, it was there's this actress in there who's pretty much like the main villain, and she's not really revealed kind of who she is until later on in the film. And this is like like one of the best performances
Really?
for someone that I had never heard of before. And like I think I looked at her filmography. I think this is like her first actual movie she's
Wow.
like been in. Um, and she I can't remember her name, but yeah, I think she had been in like like a few shows,
Okay.
and then that I hadn't heard of, and then you remember the Annoying Orange,
Yeah.
that like thing. She was like an Annoying Orange movie or something like that, I guess,
Okay.
or
Yeah,
like music
that's
video. It really bizarre, like
yeah,
I don't know,
filmography.
but she was definitely the star of the movie, and yeah, very very creepy just character.
Oh yeah. You know,
So yeah, definitely recommend it. It is there's some gory parts though, so just a warning. Uh yeah, just
I mean to be
especially
expected.
the ending.
To be
Yeah,
expected, right?
the ending scene has a pretty good payoff with that too.
Yeah.
So, uh, but yeah, no, I'm really hyped for this guy. I gotta I need to be better at
Zach
remembering.
Krager?
Yeah, Zach Kreger, because I love these two movies. I definitely want to see more.
Yeah.
Um, because him and like
So the
I
next
feel like
he's doing Resident
yeah.
Evil.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
hyped. I'm hyped
So
about
that
that.
could
That's pretty
be
sweet.
could be interesting. It's kind of one of those things where you're like, he's done some two very cool original stuff, and then it's like, oh, you're gonna go do like a remake. So it's kind of weird, but
Yeah,
but
that's
it
true.
could be really good. You know.
Yeah, because I feel like in terms of like horror right now, like coming like because it's interesting because he kind of has a Jordan Peele kind of arc because he started out in like comedy sketches
Hmm.
with Trevor Moore, and then then he kind of transitions to horror, kind of like what Jordan Peele did. And so there is definitely some crossover there with, and there are very funny parts in this
Yeah.
movie. So it's like scary, tense, funny at times. So you could definitely see those like influences coming in. Um, by one of my favorite scenes was like Josh Brolin's character, and you don't really like ever see this in a movie. Josh Brolin's character was going through this crazy dream, and it like ends in like kind of a jump scare thing. And at the end of it, it just shows him like sitting in the bed, like looking around, like what the hell's going on. And he's just like, "What the fuck?" And then it just like cuts to like the next scene or whatever. But yeah, no, it's a fun time. And yeah, I saw it once by myself, and then me and my dad saw it the my second time, and he liked it a lot too. So
Oh yeah.
he was like, this is definitely a different kind of movie, than
Yeah.
like what he usually watches. But no, he enjoyed it. So um, yeah, shout out Zach Kreger
Yeah.
um, for that one.
I want to take us real quick to
Hmm.
my Rin's Rec of the week, okay? My film.
Sweet.
Um, I don't know if we've talked about this movie before or not, but I want to throw out The Triangle of Sadness. Okay,
Okay.
this is a movie directed by Ruben Ostlund. Uh, I've when I watched it, I gave it 4 out of 5. It's very weird. There's parts in it that are like very uncomfortable, where the main two characters are arguing. These characters are Harris Dickinson. It's kind of I think it was his breakout role. He's
Hmm.
gonna be in the Beatles movies that are coming up, so he's kind of like definitely coming up. I think he was in the Baby Girl movie that was like out last year. Uh, so he's he's definitely coming up. He's like this male model, and he's dating uh, Charibi Dean. Is my attempt on her name. Um, she is gorgeous in this movie. Really sad thing that happened is before the film was released, she actually passed away. Uh,
Oh
so
no. Oh geez.
yeah, so very sad. But that's kind of that like is a weird like knowledge and kind of thing on the film because it's such a weird movie about uh like kind of beautiful people in terrible places, and so like it kind of, I don't know, it just like very much is in theme with the story that would happen.
Mm-hmm.
So really weird. Woody Harrelson's in this for a bit where they're on a cruise ship and he's the captain, and it is ridiculous because he's just like drunk and Woody Harrelson,
Yep.
there's this great scene where him and this billionaire guy are sitting drinking while the ship is basically sinking, and they're just looking up quotes from like famous like communists basically, and they keep going back and forth, and he goes, have you seen this video, the clip of
I've
that?
seen this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's like, he goes, oh, how about this one? And he reads it off, and the guy, ha, and he goes, how about this one?
Well, isn't it the guy from Superman?
Yes,
Isn't he doing it with the
it's
guy
the
from Superman? The
Baron. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. That's why I'm like, oh wait, I know that guy.
Yeah,
I've seen him.
yeah.
I've seen him in Superman.
And it works very well, and Woody Harrelson is hilarious. But yeah, everyone in this movie is, it's such a weird movie because they're like, oh gosh, they're arguing and it's very like intense, and it feels a little bit like Uncut Gems in that way, where it's like very
Yeah.
intense arguments, and then there's just these moments of ridiculousness that are like make it just, it feels funny, but the moments are intense and uncomfortable. So yeah, it's kind of that kind of weird vibe.
Hmm.
But I wanted to throw that out there as a weird one. Definitely different than some other films I've seen lately. So I wanted to share that one
Sweet.
with you.
Is that the only movie you've seen from Ruben Östlund?
Yeah, I think it is. I
Okay.
don't
Yeah,
know.
because that name doesn't sound very familiar
Yeah,
to me.
I'm not sure how much else he's done. But
Hmm.
let me look it up. Why don't you tell me about your uh Alex's album of the week?
Oh yeah. So I got it. You know, thought I'd talk about. I've been seeing all these I've been seeing all these reels recently about it's like someone with a microphone, they'll go up to a random person on the street and they'll be like they'll ask them what's the greatest album of all time. And I think it's like I think if you get asked that question, usually just respond with your favorite, because like I don't know, I think there's like a weird, I don't know if there's a difference between saying, you could say something's your favorite thing of all time, but
Mm,
maybe it's not necessarily the greatest thing of all time in your opinion. I don't know. um like you could say that about any kind of form of media, I guess, but I think in this case people were just saying what their favorite album of all time, which I guess to you it's the greatest, but yeah, I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like, is it subjective, or like music and whatever you're
yeah,
talking
there's
about.
definitely a distinction between what you think is the best and then what you think is absolutely like, you know, undeniably, oh, everyone should think this is the best, you know?
Yeah, right, right. So I guess this one I'm talking about is my favorite album
Okay.
ever, but I could you could make the argument that it's the greatest ever, but
Okay.
that's you could say that about a lot of albums though. But yeah, if someone came up to me and asked me that question, I'd probably say this one. It's from, I've talked about this band before on the channel. Different album though. The band is Godspeed You Black Emperor, and then this album is Lift Your Skinny Fists Like Antennas to
Mm.
Heaven. Very long album
Yeah.
title, but it's a they're a post rock band from Canada. Um, this is, I think, came out in 2000. I think it was their second album, and it's only 4 songs long, but each song I think is over 20 minutes, so it ends up being like almost like an hour and 20 minutes long, just based off of 4 songs. So like each one is like pretty much a little, I think like this record comes with 2 discs, and each side of, so there's 4 sides, and there's only one song on each side,
Nice.
so yeah, so it's like, oh, I finished this song, I'm gonna go switch it over. But this reasons I love this album, so it's, I said it's post rock, which that's a very like vague kind of I don't know, description for, I guess for that kind of genre. You could do a lot of different things with that, but this one is, at the root of it, it is, very long progressing rock songs, like what
Hmm.
post rock usually is. But there's, a lot of classical inspiration in this thing. Like, in all their albums, they have a ton of classical instruments that they use, but there's also a lot of like ambient stuff too.
Mm.
So if you like ambient, like electronic music, there's like, and like field recordings as well. Um, so if you like that kind of stuff, this definitely will be up your alley. But yeah, like I said, they're very slow, or they build up to like really big highs, but they take a long time to get there. But the payoff is always
Hmm.
like really good. Um, but kind of the root, I guess, like theme of this album, and there's also no lyrics too, so it's like you're just getting instrumentals with like some field recordings in there. So there's like some talking in it, but it's not like actual, like during the songs there's not actually any like vocals.
Hmm.
But yeah, the kind of the root theme is, a lot of it is on um, capitalism, and like pretty much capitalism leading to like the like apocalypse, or at least in my opinion, that's kind of what I get from the vibe of, the
Mm.
how the music sounds, and like kind of the some of the imagery, like even in the record that they give you. um, but there is some like hopefulness too in there, so it's like, the world might be ending, but there's still hope for like humanity. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I love it. Very very powerful music. And yeah, I talked about them when we did like the recap for last year for music,
Right.
because their album that they put out last year, I had that as my favorite. But that's my favorite of theirs,
Yeah.
definitely by
And that's
far.
from 2000, right?
Yes, 2000. Yep,
Wow.
yeah. So a year before I was
Legacy
even
band.
born. So
Legacy.
yeah, oh yeah, they've been around since the like mid '90s. So
Wow.
yeah, they've
So
been going
so
strong.
you could say they're contemporaries of Weezer, right? Who are a post grunge band, or you think there's a similar
uh,
vibe?
I'll say this. I feel like I don't know why I feel like the guys in Weezer and them would get along. I don't
Okay.
know. I think they kind of probably all look the same.
Oh yeah,
Too. That might be it.
probably all the same
Um,
age.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I could see that. Now I'm just like thinking of his vocals over the
Oh
music.
man, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's actually funny. I'm gonna mix that together. I'm gonna get
Dude, that actually, you know how they used to do that the wife swap show, you know?
yeah, 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 yeah. They
What
do
I
vocalist
want,
swap,
I want vocalist swap. Give me like
dude.
you take the singers, switch them, keep the bands, and then have them like jam, or I don't know.
Do you think the vocalist should be from like two different kinds of bands? Because I feel like that's what
Well,
always
that would
like
be fun.
that would cause like in those like wife swap shows, it would always be like two very different families, so
Right.
you'd get like these crazy clashes. But at the same time, like maybe that would lead to some like really cool mixes. I feel like it could lead to not so good
Well, no, but
mixes,
that's
but
that's the
that's the
joy,
purpose. That's
that's
the
the
goal.
fun of
Yeah.
the experiment.
And at the end of the show, they both of the new formed bands play a live show together, and
Yes.
they do a we could do like a battle of the bands
That would be sweet.
kind of thing.
That would be sweet. And then
That's a
they
great
they
idea.
do like one cover and then one like new song with the new singer writing. And
Yes,
then if it's this everyone
write a
likes the
song.
song, you just put the
They
song
just
out,
stay there. Yeah,
you
and maybe
know?
they just like if both bands sound better, it's like all right, we'll
Oh,
just like keep this guy.
just trade like a football team.
Yeah, right.
We've
Yeah.
exchanged singers. It's like, oh, okay.
Oh man.
That was
Yeah.
hilarious. That would be hilarious.
Yes. I would be so down for that. We got to get on that. We've
Oh
got a
yeah.
lot of good ideas
This
come
is
out of this podcast. That's one of the
you
best.
know
That's one of the best ones.
NBC,
Yeah.
HBO, some network. Um, Real
Yep.
quick, tomorrow, well, the same day this episode comes out, probably, will be the
Mhm.
first episode of our Baldur's Gate play. Will release on YouTube. So,
Yes.
uh, yeah, exciting stuff there. From then on, they'll come out every other week. So you have one Baldur's Gate one week, and then one pod the next week, and then it'll
Yep.
kind of intervene like that.
Y- Yeah, and those will be about an hour long to around
A little
there.
less, but yes.
Well, yeah.
So
So yeah, don't be yeah. So yeah, they'll be up on YouTube. So yeah, there won't be
yeah,
really like I think it's pretty much the only platform we can like kind of throw it on.
I mean, yeah,
Because
it'd be hard to
you're not
put
really
it
gonna want
on.
to listen. You're not really gonna want to listen to us just talk about the. We're I guess we could like at least from the first two episodes, like it's mostly just been playing the game, especially
Yeah,
since like I've never played a game like this before, so it's like you're kind of teaching me a lot of the
yeah,
stuff as well, like kind of to get through it. But maybe as time goes on, we can also like talk about some of the stuff we talk about in the pod,
yes,
just random stuff that kind of comes up during the week because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of things that go on.
yeah,
So
absolutely. And speaking of things going
yes,
on,
yeah,
let's climb in our rocket, and I want you to tell me about what's going on
yes.
outside of our
Well,
atmosphere.
I'll be honest. I'm not very prepared for this
Oh
section,
no.
but I did just pull up. I always go to this website
Okay.
because they're pretty
Space.com.
good at posting new no space.com. You got it.
Yeah.
They're reliable and they upload every day, which is nice. But this is as someone who has been big into exoplanets,
Okay.
because exoplanets are pretty much just planets we find that pretty much we're looking for them, trying to see if they're gonna be habitable for life. That's kind of the
Yeah.
goal of these finding these things, or they're just something someone randomly found, a planet someone found in a system that they weren't even looking for. But a remarkable discovery is what this article is titled as. Astronomers find first exoplanet and multi-ring disk around star. So that is kind of pretty much showing you or telling you that they have kind of found a kind of our solar system like um, kind of solar setup
Hmm.
near, I think this is 430 light years from Earth. uh, and let me see uh, how big this star is, because that's always a big thing with looking at these systems, is the star, because the star impacts where your habitable zone is going to be. So the the larger your star, the hotter your star, the further back your habitable zone is going to be for where your planet can be,
Hmm.
or the planet you're looking at can be, that can potentially sustain life. So if it's out of that zone, and what that means is that zone is like, where can water exist, pretty much, because all life
Right.
needs water. you
Right.
know um,
Well,
so
at least as
that's the
far
big
as we
thing. That's
think.
the Yes, yep. That to our
If they're
knowledge.
designed like us, you know,
Yes.
but they might not be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Yeah.
mention you talking about rings and living on rings. One of
Mhm.
my favorite science fiction ideas, okay, is the bishop ring. Do you know about this?
No, I don't
So these are
actually.
it's basically like a big it's like instead of building like a giant space station, okay, like a square, like a regular building, this is a
Hmm.
ring, okay, and there's like it's big enough where we would live on the inside of it's like a giant ring that floats in space that we'd live inside of, and
Yes.
it's like it's
Yeah.
obviously science fiction idea, but it appears so often in different science fiction stuff. Like I think they
Hmm.
do it in Star
Hmm.
Trek, they do it in Mass Effect. Obviously, they have to do it in Halo. Like they appear so much that it's like become like a thing, and I love that as a concept of like, yes, we're gonna build this giant ring, and we're gonna live on the
Yeah.
on.
It looks.
Yeah.
It looks so cool
It does. It
too.
looks
I don't know.
sweet.
There's something about it looks so. They look so cool. I've seen those before, but yeah, I didn't know the terminology
Yeah, yeah.
but behind them. But um, yeah, I don't know if that would really, like, thinking of like making a spaceship, how like efficiency wise, if that would be like
I think
the best, and like.
the way that it works is it simulates Earth because it simulates gravity because of the rotation,
Okay.
and so that way like it that's how that works, right? It's pulling you
Oh, like self, yeah, like you have
right.
gravity on the
Yeah.
inside. Yep, yep.
And so,
Hmm.
and that's, I think, the idea of it. And so then it's just massive. And then, like, you can have water and trees and shit. But it
Yeah,
still seems a little bit far fetched, doesn't it?
that's kind of how the one part in in like, even in like 2001, there's that one
Oh,
section
yeah.
in the ship that's like kind of spinning, and he's
Yeah.
like kind of like
When
just
he's doing the
running,
famous, right?
normal. Yeah, yeah. So
I
yeah.
just read a thing I think it's New York Times or, one of those news sources talking about 2001 saying that initially it didn't do well in cinemas, and then young people started getting really into it
Mm,
because they were going in and doing psychedelic drugs, and it's hey, there's psychedelic drugs. I was like, really, like, I don't
you
know if that's
know,
but I can see it. But
dude, if I was on those things and then the end with the baby comes up, I'm like
yeah,
tripping out. That's even with the beginning with the apes.
yeah,
Like,
the obelisk, right,
yeah,
or the shard, or whatever it's called.
the
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Da,
like,
da, 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 da,
that is
da,
a
da, da.
the noise they have, the obelisk, is like, that's one of the creepiest
Oh yeah,
noises,
oh yeah,
like, in all of cinema.
yeah. Spooky.
I was seeing this thing. You ever see the War of the Worlds?
Yeah. With
Well,
was
Tom Cruise,
yeah, Tom Cruise. Yep.
like one of the newer ones. Not the Ice Cube one.
Dude, crazy. That might have to be on the list eventually, but it's gotten such bad reviews. I don't know if I can like sit down and watch it for real because I don't know if I can give that time of my life. You know,
Yeah.
they made
If it's less,
if you're wondering what that is, they made a Zoom movie. It's the whole movie's on Zoom. Like we could make that movie, Alex. We could do
they're
this
in a
right
Teams
here.
call, bro. Yeah.
They literally are. It's Ice Cube.
I, if it's less than an hour and a half, I might consider watching it
Oh
because then
man.
I'm like, all right, that's not as bad as
Yeah,
like
the good thing is you could just put up at work and it just looks like you're on a call
that is true.
and you're
That is
good.
true.
And somebody comes by, you're like, I'm not watching a movie. I'm working. I'm on
Honestly, I'd
in a
probably
meeting.
rather
Yeah.
work at
Well,
that point.
true,
You know, I'm
true,
like,
true.
because I'm sure that'd be the longest whatever hour and a half of your
Yeah,
life
I
if you're
can't
actually
imagine
paying
that's
attention.
any good, which just sucks because it's not like Ice Cube is always bad. You know, he's had some good
No,
movies, so it's like it seems weird. I don't know who did approve this. You know, it seems insane. But anyway,
you know, yeah,
anyway,
it's crazy.
thanks for hopping in and joining us today. Expect more stuff coming. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everyone.